One of the common refrains or statements that you'll hear when prices for any product increase are that it's because the corporations are greedy. That's an explanation you see kind of anytime gas prices increase, or often now we're seeing it with food prices and with a number of other products, right? The companies are greedy and that's why the prices are rising. We even have seen some pretty big name people getting in on this. One coining the term, there's greedflation going on. These are academics with big followings saying that it's greed that's causing this increase in prices. This argument, quite frankly, and you don't hear me use these terms on this channel very often, is simply ridiculous. First, let's get this out of the way. Are companies greedy? Of course they're greedy, right? They want to make as much money as they can. Companies are greedy, just like I'm greedy as a consumer, just like you're greedy. Companies will want to sell the product for what they can sell a product for. You'll want to buy it for as cheap as you can. Kind of reminds me of the famous quip by Milton Friedman that we'll watch right now.
Greed's a good idea to run on.
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy.
So we're all greedy, right? Everybody is, the companies and the consumers. Is greed what is causing the increase in prices we're seeing for various products? Well, of course it isn't. If you want to make the argument that greed is causing inflation, you need to be consistent and then say, well, gas prices have fallen from a peak of 5 to 3.5, so clearly the oil companies have become less greedy in the last year or so, right? If you believe the oil companies have become less greedy in the last year or so, then maybe you could buy the argument that it was the greed that led those prices to go up in the first place, right? Otherwise, you're not being very internally consistent. What about the food prices, right? Food prices have been going up. Well, if you think that the food prices going up was because of greed, well, when they drop, you need to accept the fact that they're all of a sudden less greedy. And there's several instances where prices go up and down for various products, and it doesn't mean the companies are more or less greedy. What it is it's the market conditions for those products at the time. Why do gas prices go up dramatically? Well, there's a number of reasons why energy prices can go up at any one time, but it has to do with supply and demand. If you want to restrict the amount of energy that's available, if we don't want to allow drilling in various places, if we want to put in, more restrictions on how oil can be refined. So it's supply and demand that is causing the changes in gas prices. It's not a change in greed that's occurring. Food pricing, right? Is there any reason to suspect that food companies got more greedy in the past year or two? Of course not. That's ridiculous. Just like computer companies, where computers have been dropping in price essentially year in and year out for the past 30 or 40 years, it's not like these companies are amazingly altruistic and not greedy. They're greedy too. It's just the market conditions, the supply and demand is indicating that the prices for computers of a given computing power keep dropping. So it's the same monetary price, and each year you get a much better product. That is not a lack of greed on the part of Apple and Dell and all of the other companies that are building computers. That's just simply the market conditions. So this is an argument, you'll hear it a lot. And you can kind of understand why some people might want to bring it up, like, oh my gosh, how greedy are they? The gas prices are expensive, and right? It can be tough to fill a tank for some families, and it can put a real strain on the budget. But it's not an increase in greed from these companies, it's the other things that are going on. And what's problematic is if you point to greed, you're not going to look to solve the actual issues for why the prices are increasing, or in some cases, to enjoy why they are decreasing. My name's Matt Rosu. I often use pop culture to help make economics understandable. This one, not quite as much, but if you enjoy receiving content like this, please click like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.